Hello and welcome to week 6 of LIBS 301. This week we are looking at the steps of apply and we're revisiting the step of acknowledge. For this week, for our required materials, I need you to watch the week 6 instructor video, our APA 7th edition, the basics of APA in-text citations video. We also have an article that's looking at multiple authors and missing information. We also have a video quoting, paraphrasing, and summarizing. For supplemental non-required materials for you guys to look through, we do have a video on the basics of citing and referencing in APA 7th. We have 2 assignments that are due this week, which is the in-text citations quiz and the in-text citations post. We also have materials from the APA style guide. So I have provided a document with links to the online guide of basics principles of citations, parenthetical versus narrative in-text citations, paraphrases, and quotations. Now, if you're using the physical book, you can find the correlating sections in the parentheses behind each of these sections. For this week's terms and concepts, first we have in-text citation. So this is a brief reference, often using the author's last name, date, and page number, made within the body of your essay that helps to identify an idea's original source. This is also known as a parenthetical reference. A direct quote is taking another person's exact words and placing them verbatim into your own work. A paraphrase is restating someone else's thoughts or ideas into your own words without losing the meaning of the original text. And a summary is a brief statement or overview of the main points and ideas expressed within a source. The difference between a paraphrase and a summary is a paraphrase is looking at a couple of paragraphs or a page and is giving your own thoughts to it. A summary is taking an entire source, so an entire academic article, and condensing it down into its thoughts. This week for our information literacy concepts, we are looking at our last 2 steps, which is the apply step and the acknowledge step. So applying is incorporating information found into a specific project. So here we have this week's 2 assignments as well as our final essay assignment, which connects to this step. And for the acknowledge step, we've already done our APA citations and plagiarism quiz. We've also done our APA citations where you at post. And this week we are looking at our in-text citation assignments, which includes the quiz and the post. Now for the step of acknowledge, again, it's crediting the original source of information. We've already looked at the reference page. This week we're looking at your essay and your in-paragraph areas. In-text citations. So what are in-text citations? So this is a reference made within the body of a text, alerting the reader that a source has been used to inform your work. It includes the author's last name, a date of publication, and a page number if available. Also, it's going to be used for direct quotes, paraphrasing, and summarization. So you need to use in-text citations for any time an outside source or idea is being used. Now, parenthetical citations. This is where the author's name and the publication date are not mentioned within the body of the text. They instead appear within parentheses after the information has been presented. So here in the example, you can see that we have our information here and our, from our source. And then here at the end, before our period, we have our parenthesis, Picton et al., who is our author, comma, 2018, close parenthesis, and then our period. For a narrative citation, the author's name appears within the running text and the date appears immediately after the author's name. The author's name appears within the sentence where it's most logical. So for this example, participants in a study by Picton et al., then we're going to pause, add in our parentheses and our date, shared a different content on different social media sites based on their decisions on a mental mode of how their audience on each site would react. So in this example, as you can see, the author's mentioned within the body of the text and it flows very nicely. Now, a few notes on using in-text citations. When you're using a parenthetical citation, The end of the sentence punctuation comes after the parentheses. So as you see here, we have our source information of what was pulled, so the idea is pulled. Then we have our parenthesis, colon, comma, the date, close the parentheses, and then close with a period. When providing a direct quote, the order of punctuation is the quotation marks, parentheses, and then the ending period. So here we see our direct quote of high performance along one domain does not translate to high performance along another. We end with our quotation marks. We have our open parenthesis, Irvin et al., our date, our page number. We close the parentheses, and then we add our period. So now, editing our materials together. So we're going to pull everything that we've found and stick it together into our final essay, which is due next week. So organize your information in a logical order to make your argument. Then you need to be adding in a mixture of sources throughout your essay to support your argument. So make sure you're using multiple sources to make different points. Using the same source kind of throughout is really nice as well. Also make sure you're introducing your sources, then adding in the information they've provided, and then finally tying that information in with your argument. Don't just give a quote or what another source is saying. Add in your own thoughts and your own arguments to really tie that together and make a nice cohesive statement. Also, use a combination of the quotes, paraphrasing and summarizing, along with both parenthetical and narrative in-text citations. You want to mix and match. You don't want to use just one style throughout your entire paper. So for this week's to-do list. For materials to view, I need you guys to be looking through the Week 6 Instructor video, our video from Scribber on the basics of APA in-text citations, the webpage that correlates with that, which is looking at multiple authors and missing information, and then a YouTube video from BYU Mass Communications of quoting, paraphrasing, and summarizing. For supplemental materials, we have a video from Smart Student, which is the basics of citing and referencing. We also have our APA Style Guide online materials to look through. And again, if you're using the physical book, in the parentheses, you will see which section of the book to go to for each of these areas. Our 2 assignments, we have our in-text citations quiz. That is going to be due on Thursday. And then in our in-text citations post, we are going to be discussing your comfort and confidence levels when interacting with in-text citations. More information about this post is listed on the discussion board. Please respond to 2 of your classmates as always. The initial post is due on Thursday, and respond to your classmates by Sunday. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I am here to help. I know next week we will be working on and submitting our final essay, so please reach out sooner rather than later so I can help you to the best of my ability. Email me or set up a one-on-one meeting, either virtually or in person, and have a great rest of your week.